So if I wanted to split my JavaScript up into multiple files because it makes more sense logically that way, or I have um, so much code that it gets kind of unwieldy in one file, I could move some of my code to another file. And here's how I'd go about doing that. First of all, let's create another file. It should I'm going to call it talking.js. Should end with a .js extension. And then in the index.html, we just have to import that file in the same way that this sketch.js is imported in the HTML file here. Just make sure that sketch.js is last. So the browser, when it loads my HTML file here, will first load the talking.js file and any functions I include in there, and then it will load the sketch.js, and this will allow the sketch.js to use anything that's already in the talking.js file. So the sequencing is important here because you can't use something if it hasn't already been imported. So now I'm back at my sketch.js. Let's just define a function in my talking.js, like function talk, and it can accept a string, and what happens here is text string 150, 150, and let's give it a text size 30. Now I can save this, and when this runs, nothing happens because it's loading. When you click the run button, right, it's running the HTML, which is loading the talking.js and then loading the sketch. Well, my talking.js just defines a function. It doesn't actually run that function. So, oh, that was a little slow. The background finally loaded. Now, from within my sketch.js, I can call anything that I defined in the talking.js. So here's where I can, wait, what was my file name? Talk. Okay, so now I can say talk and send it a string, and then it will run that function. So if you have a lot of functions that you want to include in another file, you can do that. You could do multiple other files as well. Just do the same thing. And so you have a drawing.js where you have a bunch of draw functions that you've defined. And in this way, you're kind of creating your own JavaScript library, organizing your code a little bit more structurally.